In my never-ending search for the most cinematic YouTube living room, I've realized that the camera is part of the journey, and I don't know why I focus so hard on it. If you just put a couple things like a douche tuber light where the light's touching my neck. I returned to the Blackmagic 4K, and let's talk about why and what's next.
All I want is the perfect camera. All I want is the perfect camera.
As a side note, I went for a couple scooter rides with the Insta360 Ace Pro, filmed some stuff in 8K and some 4K stuff, and did some AI stuff, so I'm just gonna overlay that throughout this video. So enjoy the sharpness and the wonder that awaits us. So first, let me say, if you own a Blackmagic 4K and I somehow insult you, grow a sack and realize you have a great camera and you're gonna be fine. It wasn't mostly the camera as the reason why I returned it. The reason was it was a terrible condition deal. I buy the thing. I've already made the story, so I'll just slight recap. But like, it looks like it's all perfect with a cage, an SSD. It's like everything you would ever need. I get there, cage has no screw. You can attach it. The SSD drive does not have a compartment on the cage. The lens caps are gone. There's no body cap. The adapter doesn't have caps. The sensor is like, it looked scratched to me. It looked like somebody tried to clean it with sandpaper. And I was like, why am I buying this? This is the worst. But the guy was so nice, and he was just selling it for his daughter. He didn't know much about cameras, and it seemed like I could take the burden off him and benefit in my own channel. But after taking it home, the HDMI didn't work. And here's the funny story. So like, I can't see myself. I'm using mirror hacks in the app, and you tap on the app and it doesn't actually focus on you. It sometimes misses it and you can't tell. So like, nightmare. So I tell the guy, I'm like, HDMI doesn't work. I want out. Can I bring it back? He said I could bring it back if I had problems. So I was like, okay, I'm coming. We're on the Nikon, by the way. Nikon Z30, 40mm22, glimmer glass. Wow. So I get there, and I know he's disappointed. He was so happy to have finally sold it. And so I'm telling him like, HDMI doesn't work. And he's like, I just want to replicate it at home just to see. Like, I don't want to sell someone a broken camera. So it's like, okay, we're trying to hook it up to his computer. We could not figure it out. And I'm trying to help him. I'm trying to say like, hey, this is how you do it. Like, okay, what about your TV? Do you have one? He's like, oh yeah, let's do that. So we do HDMI to his TV. Works perfectly. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I got footage of it at home not working at all. And then just if you thought the HDMI cord was why, I got footage of my Blackmagic OG working just fine. So it's like, okay, see, it's not the cord, it's something's wrong with yours. But then when he put his cord in, she liked it better. Yeah. So it's like, well, hot damn. And then we're just talking. He's like, well, you can have the cord. There you go. We fixed it. And I'm like, I don't want it. I don't want your cord. It's working now. Mine worked too at times. And then it would flash on and off, and it's crackling, and something's wrong. No, I don't want it. So like, he's saying like, well, you wanted to return it because the HDMI was broken, and I've shown you that it's not. So like, do I really have to return your money? And I'm getting like nervous now. I'm like, I guess not, but I'd rather not. It's not just the HDMI cord, it's everything. There's no lens caps, there's no screw, it was false advertising. The sensor's not great quality. And he's like, well, if I buy you the lens caps and then a screw, and I'm like, I'd rather not, man. And she was like, okay, I don't want to argue. He was a nice man, a father. He was like, you win. Here you go. I said I'd honor my word, and there you go. And so like, I felt bad. Like, I returned it like I'm the scumbag. But like, he didn't lose anything. He gained knowledge from me, and I sent him links to all this stuff after that he could buy to complete the package. And then he'll probably sell it for more. I talked him down from $1,850 to $1,550. So like, it was mostly just the quality. I didn't feel right about selling it after to somebody with that sensor scratched. I was like, I want out of your whole situation, man. Like, no, I'm not passing that on to someone else. I just want to leave. And I left him in a better place, in my opinion. So I feel fine now. I've gone over it. I've worked out the kinks. When I was there, he said, it sounds more like just buyer's remorse that you're feeling. And I'm like, no. Love that camera. It looks so good. Look at that image. I want that in my life. It's so sharp. So easy to use. It's raw. 4K raw. It partly was. Like, the image didn't blow me away. It was more the deal, though. It's like, I can't be stuck with this. No. But, like, when we're being real about ourselves, did I love the image? Now, first, let me just say, every time I get a new camera, it looks terrible for, like, the first 7 videos. I'm making tweaks, and eventually I get it to look nice. I don't know how to grade Blackmagic RAW. I did okay with the Blackmagic OG eventually. The first several videos looked terrible on that thing. And then all of a sudden, okay, now it's like the best looking image ever. So eventually I would have got it to look pretty nice, but when I was doing the slow motion tests and like the autofocus missed me clearly, I was like, it's just so much easier. Every single camera looked better than that Blackmagic. The Canon, the Sony, the Nikon, they all had better slow-mo and it was easier with autofocus and flippy screens, and it's like, what am I hunting for? The cinema cam look. It's so hard to use. So now that I got out of that situation with the Blackmagic, and I was just thinking, like, would I buy that camera? Like, should I search for a better quality one? I'm thinking, I don't think I'm missing much from that. It's not the direction. I would much rather have something new soon, like a Nikon full frame. I'm sick of the APS-C. This lens on a full frame? Sign me up to that. But it's not out yet. The ZF is not something I'm going to buy. That's way too much money for less specs than my X-T4. That's not happening. We're not down sliding, and I have to wait. So it's patience that wins this game. But like, what's next? I'm looking at lenses for the Sony or the Canon. The strangest thing is, I know that gear is not, like, people who obsess over gear are lost. They're losers. They have nothing to work on. Like, go create something funny. Go get Jay Swizzle on your show.
Let's make babies. Let's make babies. Let's make babies. Let's make babies.
And he'll show you how to work an audience. It's like, focus on the content. I know that deep in my bones, obviously. Yet, here I am, just bored in the winter. And I'm like, it'd be fun to buy something. And so I look all the time. And then I buy, and I regret, and I sell, and I move on. And I don't know where the ending is in this game. A part of me loves the simplicity of having one camera. I would be very happy if I had just the Sony a7S III and a couple different Zeiss lenses, and we're done with that. But it's also fun to switch. And like, now we have the Nikon. It's cool to just switch it up a notch. And you have different colors. I can't tell if I'm overexposed. Looks like I am. There's no zebras. But it's fun to, like, okay, Canon releases something, and then I film a video talking about that on a Canon camera. That can be fun to have all this different gear, but it also really does get in the way. It's so simple if you just have your camera, and then you're focused more on the video content, and then your camera just does the thing that no one cares about. As long as it's like somewhat in focus and your audio is decent, you're happy. A part of me just really enjoys the carousel of having new cameras come in, testing them out, getting rid of old stuff, and it's this merry-go-round wheel of joy that just keeps saying, oh, this is good, no, that wasn't, this is cool, and we're replacing old stuff with new. I've gotten a lot of gifts here, and some of the old lenses you sell off to buy better ones. And so, like, I've replaced a lot of bad stuff with good, But the problem is I never stopped that process. It should just be ended years ago, but I keep searching for new things that are dumb. Like, I'm debating a 135mm lens. Why? I tried it. I had to back up so far in my living room that nothing was actually in, like, nobody could relate to that guy because he was 3 light years away from you. It's funny, I still have the return window on this camera open from Amazon. I bought it back in November, and they're like, must return by January 31st if you have the time. It's like, really? I've had so much time. I might even return this and wait for a Nikon full frame. I don't know, there's so many things I'm always wanting to sell everything and minimalize, but then I search for more gear and bring it back in. So I just ride that wave of gear obsession versus actually creating something fun versus, okay, we're doing talking head videos here and there, it's winter, it's cold, and then boom, we create something amazing that I'm proud of. And it's a balance of bullshit videos like this, ranting, versus like, oh, well, I never would have thought of that. Slow motion beauty mode for people filming advertisements. Wow, that's really creative. Well done. So, like, just ride the wave and stop spending so much money, because you're wasting your time and your money, especially. So, gear obsession. As a camera channel, I have it because it's fun to do that. You have something new that opens up so many different videos from one purchase. You can do like reviewing that, comparing it versus your other stuff. It's 2 videos. Doesn't even sound like a lot, but the comparisons, they're fun to do. Give me a break. So Nikon wins is the only thing we learned. And full frame, just hurry up and beat the A7S III already so I can pounce. Otherwise, we're stuck in Sony forever, and I'll be happy there. I'll be happy and own nothing and eat crickets. So I'll leave now. Nikon. Subscribe for more, but I'm saying it.